Hello, I'm Ethan Mucklebauer, a lead advocate here at CCK Law, and I'm here with Nick Scripter, who's an attorney with the firm. Today we're going to talk about VA claims for migraines and headaches, which are often severely debilitating. The pain and other symptoms can make it really difficult for veterans to work, maintain relationships, or even care for themselves. If you are a veteran suffering from service-connected migraines or headaches, you may be eligible for additional VA disability compensation. However, filing a VA claim for migraines requires providing strong evidence for both service connection to establish that the headaches are related to service, and evidence on the frequency and severity of your headache attacks. As a firm that focuses primarily on appeals, we see a lot of claims that fail to support one or both of these requirements. In this video, we'll walk you through some of the types of evidence that has improved our clients' claims on appeal, and then at the end, we'll give you a couple of tips based on seeing thousands of VA appeals on what makes a claim or appeal for headache successful.
Yeah, so going into the requirements, VA's regulation for migraines gives four potential ratings depending on their severity. The lowest, 0% rating for infrequent migraines with minimal impact, 10% rating for migraines averaging one every 2 months, 30% for migraines averaging once a month, which cause significant impairment, and then the highest of 50% for frequent migraines, frequent prostrating migraines that lead to severe economic inadaptability. And a prostrating migraine specifically is one that forces you to, for example, lie down in a dark room or take an extended rest period. And that's a very important detail to tell VA about because prostrating migraines can have a major impact on your ability to work. So as a result, has a major impact on the ultimate rating you might receive.
Thanks, Nick. So now let's talk about some of the evidence that veterans can submit to help support their claims. So the first up is service treatment records, or STRs, and these are an important part of service connection claims, or establishing that your headaches are related to service in some way. So if you reported migraines while in service, then your STRs might have medical notes, prescriptions, or records of your visits to sick call or medical facilities regarding your headaches. It might also show a diagnosis or treatment for headaches or migraines while on active duty, which will strengthen your claim. And these are important because one of the elements of service connection is showing that something happened to you during service, some sort of injury or event or occurrence of symptoms. So showing in your service records that this occurred can be a really helpful way to establish that part of your claim.
And if you don't have documented medical records from your time in service about your headaches, you can still use lay statements from your family, friends, or fellow service members, statements from those who served with or who were in your life at the time of service can confirm that you experienced these headaches or migraines at that time, even if they weren't documented or treated. And they can also describe how your migraines affect you in your daily life. So obviously, if you have service records documenting it, that's great. But either way, having these lay statements can definitely help bolster your appeal.
For sure. Next up is a Nexus letter from a doctor or treatment provider. So a medical Nexus letter is a written statement from a physician linking your migraines to your service. This is important because in general, veterans themselves are not competent to explain whether a disability is related to service. Only medical professionals are qualified to give that opinion. So if you can get a letter from a doctor or treatment provider that includes language saying that your headaches are more likely than not, which is VA's standard, related to service, this will really support your claim and help establish that third element, which is one of those ones that does require some sort of medical opinion.
And so if you have all of that and you are able to establish service connection, then we're also going to want to establish the severity, the frequency of your migraines. And post-service medical records can go a long way in helping establish that severity. So treatment records from VA facilities or any private doctors that you go to can document your ongoing migraine symptoms. Prescriptions for migraine medication. Common ones are sumatriptan, so I'm going to butcher this, propranolol, or topiramate, showing basically those prescriptions can show continued ongoing treatment. Neurologic evaluations or imaging like MRIs and CT scans can also rule out other causes as well.
Next up is a personal statement from the veteran themselves. So a first-person account of how often your migraine headaches occur, how severe they are, and how they impact your ability to work or your daily functioning can really help establish the severity of the headaches and assign an appropriate rating. So if your migraines cause symptoms like nausea, vomiting, sensitivity to light and sound, or if they require you to stop what you're doing, go lay down, those are really important details, and be sure to include those in the statement. Also describe how long the headaches last and how often per week you suffer these attacks.
And I think one last thing that can also be important for migraines claim is employment records, if applicable. So if your migraines have caused you to miss work or have performance issues, documentation of that from your employer, such as attendance records or performance evaluations, can also help support your claim and go toward their severity.
So those are the types of evidence that we suggest you research or consider submitting in support of your claim. Also, make sure you describe everything you have to do to cope with your migraines or treat them. This includes taking medication, hot or cold treatment, etc. VA is supposed to consider how severe your migraines are without considering the ameliorative effects of medication. Basically, if the medication or treatment makes the headaches more manageable in some way, VA needs to discount those effects and just assess the headaches as if you did not take any medication or treatment. So your ability to control some of your symptoms should not actually impact the rating that VA assigns.
Right. And one other tip, one of the biggest mistakes that we see a lot of veterans make is to downplay their symptoms or the flare-ups of their migraines. It's very important that you do not withhold any information about your most severe episodes, even if those most severe ones are more rare or have random onsets. VA needs to hear about how severe your symptoms can be at their worst, because the frequency can change unexpectedly as well. So definitely just not downplaying symptoms as sometimes people are inclined to do.
So if you're appealing a denial of service connection or seeking a higher rating for your migraine headaches, please feel free to reach out to CCK for a free case evaluation. And don't forget to like and subscribe for some more VA tips and updates. Thank you and take care.